Wow, a full house. I'm a little nervous. Take a deep breath, yoga breathe, right? I see some friends here. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Governor Pritzker, Director Mueller, Senator Toro, Dr. Weiner, representatives from DCFS, our Maryville Board of Directors, family, friends, and of course our Maryville staff. My name is Nina Alaprandi, and I'm an Associate Executive Director for Maryville. Sister Kathy Ryan, our Executive Director, unfortunately couldn't be here today. She had a pre-planned trip out of the country. She's in India. And she did text me at 3 a.m. our time to please extend her gratitude to you all for joining us today. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before you as we gather to celebrate the opening of this much-needed shelter, St. Catherine of Siena. This is more than just a building. This is a safe haven for some of the most vulnerable members of our community, children and young people who are involved with the Department of Children and Family Services and also live with a medical complexity. Today marks the culmination of years of hard work and dedication and collaboration. We are here because a group of people at the Department of Children and Family Services, medical professionals, clinicians, community leaders, and of course our board recognized that there was this need, and there were some generous supporters that helped us raise a little money to get the startup of this. And they believed in the power of compassion and the importance of creating a space where children and youth can receive the care, stability, and love that they deserve. At Maryville, we will be providing not only a roof over the head for these children, but also we're going to be instilling hope and healing and the possibility of a brighter future. The staff and caregivers are very committed to nurturing not only the physical well-being of the kids, but their emotional and developmental needs as well. Together, we have created this space over 3 years, and our intention was to create a space where no child, no matter what their circumstances were, they would be able to feel like they were seen, they are heard, and they would have an opportunity to thrive. I just want to take a moment to recognize some of the partners who made this vision a reality. Of course, our friends at DCFS, specifically Keith Poland, who always believed that the Maryville staff could create a program that would meet the needs of this very special population. Our architects from NKB, Norcon Construction, and Alicia Gomez, I saw you somewhere. Where are you? There you are. Alicia Gomez, thank you for your beautiful clouds that you painted all over. It's just fabulous. And of course, our Maryville board. To our incredible staff who've been working so hard, not only to help create this space, but with all the training you're doing, we know you're going to be working tirelessly, and we're so grateful for your dedication to these young lives. This is some of the most challenging and impactful work, to be working with children who've been removed from their family homes and don't yet have a sense of permanency, coupled by their medical complexity. That's a really tough job. And we're full of gratitude to you, and we're very proud of you. And now, this is the highlight of my 40-year career at Maryville. I am delighted to introduce a champion of children in the state of Illinois. He leads our state with practicality and integrity. He drives policy supporting our most vulnerable populations. He is a man who believes in the potential of young people and who is committed to the health and well-being of every family in the state of Illinois. Please join me in welcoming our Governor, J.B. Pritzker.
Thank you very much for that very kind welcome. Thank you to Nina. Good morning, everyone. I love that. Everybody's wide awake. They've had their coffee. That's terrific. Yeah, nice to see everybody. And it really is a spectacular day outside and inside here. I just can't tell you, this is one of the best parts of my job, right, is to serve the most vulnerable children in our society, to be able to cut the ribbon on a place like this, right? It does the heart good. And so I just want you to know, when I wake up in the morning as governor, I always have thought, people ask me, why do you like the job so much? And it's because you can actually really make a difference every single day on the job. And this is a day where I feel like, it's a 3-year overnight success, I understand, but this is a day where I feel like we're making progress in the state. So thank you all for giving me that feeling. Thanks to all of you for joining us in the celebration of a critical new piece of our healthcare infrastructure for young people in Illinois. Taking care of our children is one of our most sacred responsibilities. And the incredible people that are gathered here in this audience and that are assisting in making this such a spectacular facility are helping to fulfill that promise. I want to start by thanking some of the many individuals, and I will miss folks, and thank goodness you had a nearly complete list, although I'm sure others were missed. But there are lots of folks to thank. I want to extend my gratitude, of course, to the team here at this St. Catherine of Siena program that's going to be so vitally important for these children. And of course, across Maryville Academy, all the work that's been done here. I won't be able to name all of the folks, but of course, Nina Alaprandi, who, just you can feel the compassion, you can feel the joy that comes from her, and President Dick Dine, who has been serving the public, as far as I can tell, his entire adult life, and it's just so good to see you here. Yeah, and all of you really are making such a transformational impact in the lives of so many children. I'd also like to thank my colleagues in all levels of our government who've been stalwarts in the support of and investment in this project. I just want you all to note that it is not the case everywhere in the country where every level of government is talking to one another and working together to get things done. And we don't do it all the time here in Illinois, but we do a pretty good job of it, and especially right here. Local, county, state government, federal government even, and I'm proud of that. I think there's a certain I think all of us should take some pride in who we are as Illinoisans, that we can have that happen. That having been said, I want to thank State Senator Natalie Toro for your leadership in Springfield, and of course Director Heidi Muller, who has done such a terrific job at the Department of Juvenile Justice for so many years. When I came into office, I'll just point out that she was already in office, so thank goodness she was willing to keep doing the job that she was doing at DJJ, because she really is a spectacular leader. And then when we came to her and said, we need your help because you've transformed DJJ, now we need more transformation at the Department of Children and Family Services. And I know that you had put so much effort in, and you had to think hard about whether to take on another really big challenge, but she did, thank goodness. And so I'm grateful for your leadership. I'm grateful for the idea that that the people at the Department of Children and Family Services, who need a great leader all the time, because it's hard work, get to have Heidi Miller as their director. Today we applaud real progress that's made in youth care by virtue of the opening of this facility. Across the state, and especially here in Chicago, too many of our children and our families, particularly those with urgent and complex medical needs, have to overcome significant barriers to secure the care that they need. Whether that's because of funding or geography or bureaucracy or otherwise, we've made it our mission to try to make it easier to leap over those hurdles and ensure that every child in Illinois receives the quality, accessible care that they deserve. During Illinois' budget crisis, the number of program beds for youth care was dramatically diminished. And as I've often said in the wake of that, it takes years to build back the bed capacity and for the state to regain the trust of organizations that relied on the state to pay its bills on time. And that may not sound like a lot, but it is. I mean, you can imagine, maybe some of you have been involved in dealing with the state during that time, but you know, there were a lot of folks who said, gosh, I don't want to be at the whim of the state, because so many nonprofit organizations had to close their doors when the state was taking 250 days to pay its bills. And many organizations don't have a balance sheet that can sustain that kind of time. So during that period, so many suffered. Well, over the past 6 years, we've made tremendous strides to reverse the damage that was done to nonprofit organizations, and most especially to the services that are so badly needed by so many, and particularly those vulnerable youth. Today's announcement is an example of the hard work that's gone into developing a new equity-centric framework of care to meet the mission that we all have. One that responds to the unique needs of individuals and their families, their communities, and follows a continuum of care to treat immediate medical needs while helping patients transition to long-term health and stability. This facility and ones just like it across the state are part of our vision coming to life. In the next, and I want to just remind you, I said 3 years, it's taken 3 years. It takes a long time, again, to build back this capacity. And you all have, you know, you're intrepid on the front lines of getting this done. And again, it means so much. You know, what you've done here is going to make such an enormous difference. In the next 3 months, DCFS will have 40 additional program beds to offer youth in care. Maybe that doesn't sound like a lot to you, but 40 kids, 40 young people will get the terrific care that they deserve. Vulnerable patients will receive comprehensive care in a warm, comforting environment from a staff with the training and resources that's necessary to meet their complex medical needs. Not only that, but the incredible team at Maryville will provide patients and their caregivers with information and resources to transition back into their communities and everyday lives without missing a beat in the recovery process. With capital and operating support from DCFS, the state of Illinois is proud to have played a role in bringing this project to life. A new rate guaranteeing payment will support all of the standard care costs, along with specialty positions and other costs like nursing and case management, transportation, and food that this population needs. This is just one of many awards to facilities across the state of Illinois that are part of a comprehensive effort to increase capacity in youth care. That's a testament to the tireless commitment of our agency staff, too, and to the community partners. And it's a shining example of the results that our focus and strategy can yield with shoulder to the wheel and persistence. We're taking a major step forward in our work to provide each and every Illinois child with quality, accessible, and culturally relevant care. The work that is being done here will transform the lives of vulnerable young people, and it will improve the entire network of youth care across the state of Illinois. So I want to thank you all for the work that you do to care for and invest in the next generation of Illinoisans. And with that, I'd like to hand the podium over to, all I can say is she's a champion, true champion for children and families across the state of Illinois, and that's our director, Heidi Muller.
I even wore heels, but thank you, Governor Pritzker. And my name is Heidi Miller. I'm the director of DCFS. And on behalf of the team at DCFS, I'd like to thank you for your unwavering commitment to the children and families of Illinois. A lot of people talk the talk of supporting our state's most vulnerable children, but from the moment you took office, you have walked the walk. Increasing funding, increasing staffing to ensure children and families in care have the support, resources, and high quality care that they need and deserve. This project would not be possible without this man at the helm. And it also certainly would not be possible without the staunch support of the Illinois General Assembly and legislators like Senator Toro, who understand that our state's most vulnerable, or our state's actually most precious resource is our people, and that our values demand that we invest in and care for our children. It is this support that makes the Maryville at St. Catherine of Siena program possible. This incredible program provides both specialized medical care and social, developmental, and emotional support to youth who require ongoing support for complex medical needs. Even better to us at DCFS, this program works closely with families and caregivers to train them on how to support their children's medical needs at home so that children can return to permanent homes safely, homes that they yearn for and deserve. I'm so excited today because the Maryville at St. Catherine's home that we are celebrating represents a core piece of our vision for DCFS, building a high-quality continuum of care for youth with special needs that meets their individual needs in loving, home-like environments in their own communities. I'm proud because this program is another step toward fulfilling our promise to increase our capacity to provide safe and clinically appropriate residential care for youth with complex needs. And as the governor said, in fact, over the next 3 months, this, along with several other new programs, will add 50 more specialized care options for our young people who desperately need them. So get ready, because we're going to be doing this a whole lot over the next couple months. But most importantly, what I want to say about this program is that by partnering with trusted partners like Maryville, we can be assured that our kids and their families will be treated like family, receiving the care and love we all want for our own families. And that is so critically important to me in this role and all of the folks at DCFS that I work with. A few weeks ago, I had a chance to meet the boy who will be our first resident here at St. Catherine's. He's 16, and he suffered a tragic gunshot wound that left him paralyzed from the waist down. You might expect a young man who had the life he envisioned for himself ripped away in an instant to be angry and hopeless. And I know he is coping with those emotions. But when I met him, I met a young man, who is funny and smart, who laughs at even my stupid jokes, and is eager to go to school, and has dreams of going to college. And he is looking forward to coming here. So my heart feels full today, because I have seen the hearts of the Maryville team, including Associate Executive Director Nina Aliprandi and President Dick Dine, and I know that they will know this young man and all of the kids that they care for and love them the way I would love them. So now I have the privilege of introducing Dr. Dana Weiner, the brilliant, passionate, and tireless advocate behind Illinois' children's behavioral health transformation, and someone who has offered me constant guidance over the course of my career, and for whose wisdom I am especially grateful now. So, without further ado, Dr. Dana Weiner.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Miller, for that very kind introduction. And thank you, Director Aliprandi, for your hospitality and leadership in this work. And of course, thank you, Governor Pritzker, for your continued support of innovation and your commitment to making lives better for everyone in our state. I'm Dana Weiner. I'm a clinical psychologist and senior policy fellow, and I've spent the last 25 years working alongside of DCFS and DJJ and other child-serving agencies here and across the country to try to improve services, programs, and outcomes for our most vulnerable youth. But in 2022, Governor Pritzker gave me the privilege of leading our state's effort to improve services and programs for kids who have mental and behavioral health challenges. So, as part of this work, we collaborate across the 6 child-serving agencies in our state, and that includes DCFS, to ensure that young people, even those with the most complex needs, can receive help and care to be healthy and strong. But sometimes youth with medical challenges can get stuck because it's so difficult to find a place that can meet all of their needs. We are so grateful to Maryville for stepping up to help us meet the needs of these young people. So it takes strength and courage for young people to navigate the world with physical or medical challenges. And it takes support and training and dedication for the adults who have committed to care for these youth. The St. Catherine of Siena program promises to bolster these youth and their caregivers as they meet the challenges they face, giving them the tools and preparation to do their best, as well as a very bright and hopeful place to be while they're learning and growing. I look forward to watching the impact of this work and this approach to building skills among youth and their families as we continue to work on improving the circumstances of young people who spend time involved with DCFS. So congratulations to all of you on the opening of this unit, which will help all of us continue to work toward a system where we can readily and easily meet the needs of all of our youth. Thank you for your commitment to meeting kids where they are and raising them up. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Dick Dine, President of the Maryville Board of Directors.
Thank you very much, Governor Pritzker, Director Weiner, Senator Toro, Director Miller, a couple of other people I'll talk about later, and honored guests. I also want to specifically mention a couple of board members that are with us today who devote a great deal of time to helping projects like this get off the ground and get the support they need. Mike Monroe and Sean Madden from our board, and I'd also like to acknowledge a member of a very select group, another former Cook County State's Attorney, Anita Alvarez, who is now director of the legal director at Maryville. These days, if we watch TV and read the newspapers, we see so many negative things about war, school shootings, crime, this and that are really somewhat depressing. Today is just the opposite. Today we are at St. Catherine of Siena to recognize a partnership of medical professionals, Department of Children and Family Services, families who make a tremendous commitment themselves, and the community to put together a program that will provide short-term care for children who are in complex medical conditions. These partners work to care for these very vulnerable individuals and to help them move along this medical continuum from temporary care to more permanent care. I say all those things, but it really comes down to people. As Director Miller noted, each individual that we care for here and in the other facilities is a human being in very difficult circumstances. Their families are in difficult circumstances. And I can't tell you enough about the staff at Maryville who work so hard to make this happen. They are just tremendous people. I have observed up close and personal the tremendous work that goes over at the crisis nursery center and the healthcare center to take care of children who are so threatened. They have a difficulty in just making it from day to day, and our people do that work that is so draining, not just physically but emotionally, in a very special way that touches my heart whenever I go there. And with the help of the governor and DCFS, we are now bringing that same level of care and commitment to this facility, which I think strikes everybody when you walk in as just so uplifting and positive, that people not only will get the care, but they'll be in an environment where they feel there is hope, where they feel positive about things. The Maryville Board is committed to doing all we can, working with our partners to make sure this program and others like it continue and move on. And it happens at Maryville because of the staff and because of the leadership, like Nina's, who is just a tremendous leader for us in motivating other staff and in working with the children. And I have to say a word about our executive director, Kathy Ryan. Whenever we have a function like this, Kathy always grabs me beforehand and says, "Don't talk about me." She does. But she's in India, so she won't keep me after school if I do talk about her, which is good. She is a truly inspirational leader for all of us. I think I speak for all the board members, certainly for myself and senior staff, when we say it is not just that Kathy runs things. Kathy inspires all of us to give that little extra, to do whatever is necessary to help these children who are so vulnerable. So I am so pleased and grateful to have had the opportunity to work with her all these many years. I want to thank you all for attending today, and we have staffs from various agencies here and other people. But without your support and the commitment of community and outsiders, none of this would be possible. So every day we're grateful for all that you do and all that you commit to Maryville, to DCFS, to the governor's work, and to all the other programs in the state of Illinois that are trying to help our children. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Senator Toro from the 20th District. She is another individual who just doesn't stand up at ribbon cuttings and special events and wave at it. She's out there, and she spent many years working in the Chicago Public Schools as a teacher with children, and her work in the legislature has been equally devoted to helping children, as is evidenced by this great facility we have. So please join me in welcoming Senator Toro.
Thank you for that warm welcome, President Dine. Thank you so much for inviting me here today to celebrate the ribbon cutting of the new residential facility to support medically complex youth in care. I'm State Senator Natalie Toro, and before I served our community as a senator, I was a teacher for nearly a decade because I was driven to create a better future for our youngest Illinoisans and to make sure that they were set up for success. Similarly, DCFS professionals and healthcare providers are motivated by the hope for a better future for our children. They work daily to ensure that every child has access to the essentials in their development, like shelter, education, healthcare, and emotional support. This new facility at Maryville Academy will ensure that young people in the foster care system who have medically complex needs can get the treatment that they need. It will allow them to have a smooth transition from their time at the facility to living in their community by connecting them with local services and caregivers they can trust. Most of all, it will ensure that these children who are experiencing a lot of fear and change in their lives will be comforted in having a secure place designed to meet their needs, both their current medical concerns and any underlying issues related to being in the foster care system. All children deserve high-quality health care, especially when they are experiencing complex and intense symptoms. I'm proud to have fought for these investments for this new shelter so that more young people can access life-saving care and be successful in the future. Once again, thank you so much for inviting me here today. I'm so honored to be here. And thank you to everyone at DCFS who has made this ribbon cutting possible. At this time, I would like to invite everyone up so we can cut that ribbon. Thank you.
Don't run with these. My mother always told me. All right, I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and then cut, okay? We'll do it all together, and the cameras are that way, so we'll just get our scissors around the ribbon, and 3, 2, 1.
Hey, good cutting. No one got hurt.
Great. If you don't mind, I'm going to take a few questions from the members of the media. I see a few in the back row, or one at least, two.
Governor, could you talk more about the plan to add more beds in the next couple of months?
Sure, and I'm going to ask Heidi to add to my remarks, but this is, as I have said many times before, and I know it's hard for people to understand, it takes a long time to add capacity, because what happens is that there is so much need, and it isn't just by DCFS. There's just need across the board, and the result is that when the state fails to continue its contracts, to pay its bills and so on, that capacity goes away. I mean, it goes to someone else, and they make commitments. And so we've had to kind of start from scratch over the last number of years. It took 3 years to get this, up and running. And so we're very proud of the work that's being done. So much more to do, right? There were, I think across the board, there were like 500 beds that were lost, and this is across a whole bunch of needs, but including medical complexity. Back during the budget crisis, this is 7 years ago. So this is just a piece of a much larger strategy that's happening. It's been ongoing. We've been investing for a number of years. We did it in part with the capital bill that was created back in 2019. We created the capital necessary. We've done it through the budgeting at DCFS. And then just supporting, you heard me talk about the operational support that's coming to a program like this. That's another piece of what the state needs to be committed to. This has to be a long-term commitment, and we've made that long-term commitment. So you're going to see a steady growth of the number of beds as it has been over the last couple of years, but even more so over the next couple. I hate to say the need is so great that maybe Heidi can speak to the amount of need that we can now measure.
Sure. So over the next 12 to 18 months, we are anticipating bringing on about 170 additional beds. That's our goal. We're actually working really closely with Dr. Weiner and her team because we want to make sure that we're meeting the need where it exists. So her team is helping us geomap and identify, what are the specific sort of individual needs that kids have in which regions so that we can invest our dollars most widely. wisely. And I do want to say that part of our goal is to also invest not just in sort of these brick and mortar residential spaces, but also really invest money in the kind of supportive care and services that kids need so they can remain at home with their families.
Great job. Yeah. Olivia.
Hi, Governor.
Hi.
I wanted to ask something off topic on the presidential election, but specifically with regard to the Ukrainian American community and Ukrainian Chicagoans. I'm wondering, there's a lot of support for Harris in that community. It seems like not everyone is totally convinced that, the Biden administration has done everything that maybe they would have wanted. My question to you is, how is the war in Ukraine influencing your vote, and what would you say to maybe folks in the community that are on the fence?
Well, Vladimir Putin is our enemy. Let's all be clear. So anybody who thinks that buddying up with a dictator, an autocrat who is an enemy to the United States is a good thing is wrong. So when there's an invasion by one country into another country, particularly into a country that's an ally of ours by an enemy, our support for our ally is vitally important. President Biden has done that every step of the way. It was, in fact, his predecessor, President Trump, left open the opportunity for President Putin to do it because essentially he never stood up for Ukraine. So I think that there's a widespread recognition, certainly in the Ukrainian American community. I'm Ukrainian by background. My great-grandparents emigrated to this country from Ukraine. They were driven out of Ukraine by the Russians. And so this war is somewhat personal for me, but I also can take the names off the countries and just say this is what the United States is supposed to do for its allies. And by the way, we're preventing the possibility that we would have to send our own troops by supporting Ukraine. And so I don't know how it's going to affect the ultimate vote on November 5th or all the people voting from now until then. I do know that I think, from my perspective, patriots of the United States who think that Russia and Vladimir Putin are working against U.S. interests should be standing with the administration and supporting the government of Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Nice to see everybody.